A neighborhood group is meeting with investigators tonight about 3 recent suspicious fires in the area. The most recent fire was last Wednesday night on Maryland Avenue in Covington. That fire started between 2 occupied houses on the street. Nobody was hurt. Another fire was reported on Maryland in February. A house on Oliver caught fire 2 weeks ago. The Austinburg Neighborhood Association is meeting with the city fire and police departments tonight. It will be at the Austinburg Gateway Garden at 15th and Maryland starting at 7. There.
Anger and fear right now in Covington's Austinburg neighborhood as residents worry an arsonist is targeting their homes.
And many of them met with firefighters and community leaders tonight trying to figure out what they can do to protect their neighborhood. Fox 19's Sarah Gowdy was at that meeting and she joins us live in Covington with the latest on that. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Tricia. And tonight, Covington firefighters and police told people out here that they do have some leads, but they haven't made any arrests just yet. Take a look right here live behind me. As you can remember, that fire last week damaged 2 homes, and they're the homes standing right here. We're told that one of those houses is so badly damaged, people won't be able to live in it for some time. And tonight, residents gathered together to figure out how to stop what you're looking at right now from happening again.
There was a dog cage in the front yard for my dog.
Sean O'Kane couldn't hide how he felt about losing most of what he owned as this fire burned. Police say an arsonist may have set fire to Sean's house.
My wallet was in the house. My IDs, everything I owned was in that house. And I don't have nowhere to go.
In the April chill, Sean and most of his Austinburg neighbors gathered to turn up the heat and try to help each other.
I think that we need to have some video surveillance for this neighborhood.
All in this crowd want to find out who set the fire. Most at this meeting admit they're scared. No one wants to see an arson happen again.
If you see a suspicious person, it might be nobody, but just pick up that phone, call 292-22222 and report it.
Covington police and firefighters say they do have leads in the case, but have made no arrests. For now, that means people in this part of Covington will have to help out investigators.
People are starting to get really concerned, and we want to try to do the best we can to help the authorities.
And community leaders say this is not just an Austinburg neighborhood problem. This is a city of Covington problem. That's why anybody who knows anything about this should contact the police. Reporting live in Covington, Sarah Gowdy, Fox 19 News.
We're learning more about a series of suspicious fires in a Covington neighborhood. Topping our coverage of Northern Kentucky news now. The Austinburg Neighborhood Association met tonight with the Covington fire chief to get the word out that someone is deliberately setting fires. One fire damaged 2 houses on Maryland Avenue last week. Chief Mark Young says that out of 5 fires since the beginning of the year, 3 are definitely arson and 2 are suspicious.
The burn patterns and how fast the fire spread would give us a definite indication of accelerants being used. We've actually had witnesses on this last fire who actually drove by. It was clear. They drove down the street, parked the car, got out of the car, and then they saw a big column of smoke and the fire. So that's a definite indication of accelerants being used.
5 house fires in just one neighborhood, and tonight neighbors want to know what's being done to stop it from happening again. News says Eric Flack is live in Covington with our number 3 story tonight. Eric.
Sheree, the people who live out here are concerned that more homes will burn if police do not catch the people responsible for all this.
A cold, damp night didn't stop dozens of people who live in Covington's Austinburg neighborhood from coming out to talk about a string of arsons, including one 6 days ago that left Sean O'Kane and his 4-month-old son homeless.
We have no money. My wallet was in the house. My IDs, everything I owned was in that house.
There have been 5 fires set on 2 streets since the beginning of the year. Fearing more victims, tonight the Neighborhood Association asked the police and fire chiefs to update them on the investigation.
This is a big concern, I know, not only for the residents, but for the fire department as well, and the city.
Although witnesses reported seeing someone running from the scene of last week's arson, there are no real leads and no solid suspects. Police have stepped up patrols and are asking people who live here to call in anything suspicious.
This is the only way that you're going to take back your neighborhoods, that you be the eyes for the police.
Some of the neighbors asked the fire chief to put up rewards. for information leading to an arrest, but the fire chief right now said right now there's no plans to do that. Reporting live from Covington, I'm Eric Flack, News 5.
Eric, so in the meantime, what are neighbors going to do?
Well, I mean, there was some talk by some of the neighbors about trying to put some security cameras up around here. It's really unclear if the neighborhood association really has the money to do that. In the meantime, the police chief is asking all the neighbors to keep an eye on vacant buildings and board up empty houses because, as you know, Sri, that can really attract criminals to the neighborhood.
Yeah, and in the meantime, certainly frustrating for those neighbors. Eric, thank you. Also,